D-Man here. Just telling you, I hope you like this video. So let's get in to the video. Hello guys,
Enjoy.
D-Man here, doing another movie review. And this time it is the Full Metal live, or live action Full Metal Alchemist. Um, this review is gonna be spoiler central, bunch of spoilers because it's on Netflix, and I'm assuming most people that are watching this probably already watched it. But if you haven't, I'll give like a really quick rating to this and say if I recommend you watching it or not. Okay, so my really quick rating to this is if it was 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, 5 being average, I'd probably give this a 4. At first, I was thinking a 5, but probably a 4. It's up there with Dragon Ball Z level live action. I'm just saying, it's up there. Um, but yeah, I give this a 4. And would I recommend you watching this? Um, Probably not. If you haven't watched the anime, Fullmetal Alchemist or Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, um, then maybe this might give you a slight, um, it might be slightly interesting, although it's kind of long and drawn out and boring to be honest. Uh, so maybe it's slightly interesting if you haven't watched the anime, but if you have watched the anime, this is just like garbage. This is garbage. Okay, so now spoilers. We're getting to spoilers here. Okay, so first off, there are a lot of bad things and only a very few good things in this movie. And I am gonna go through all the bad things first, and at the end, I'll go through a few good things. Okay, so let's see. Starting off, the first bad thing is this movie. Um, it doesn't follow the anime or the manga like for sure. It doesn't follow it at all, pretty much. And don't get me wrong. I don't mind if shows don't follow the anime or manga or whatever. I really don't mind it. I'm totally fine with that. Uh, I'm totally fine with something not following the original that it's made off of, as long as they do a good job of making it, which they did not do in this. Um, so yeah, that's kind of stupid. They didn't do a good job of making this, and they didn't follow the original concept, which sucks. But anyways, that's one bad thing. They didn't follow the original concept, and they didn't do a good job at not following it in the first place. But let's see. The second bad thing about this huh, is probably all the stuff that they tried to shove in to 2 hours long, or 2 hours and like 16 minutes, I think it was. So this movie was 2 hours and 16 minutes. It was long, drawn out, and boring to be honest. And they tried to shove everything in. It was ridiculous. They tried to shove every little thing in. So like, oh, we gotta put this in there. We gotta put this in there. We gotta put this in there. And at the end, it just made it longer and more. It made it longer and less impactful. Like all these things that we've seen in the anime that were really impactful, like this for example, when her father turns her into a chimera with her dog, um, not impactful at all. Or when Edward, uh, when Alphonse thinks that his memories are false. That's in this movie too. Like he thinks his memories are false, and like Edward just created Alphonse, or Alphonse thinks his memories are false, and he thinks that Edward just created him for like the fuck of it. In the manga, I mean, in the actual anime, I haven't read the manga by the way, so but in the anime, um, it was like really impactful. It's like, oh, that's really sad and stuff, and at the end, it's like has this really cool fighting scene, but in this, it's just like, Oh, that was just something random and boring. It just brought it up way too fast. Along with this scene right here, we only get to see her for a couple scenes, and then it's just like now she's a chimera. I'm pretty sure we got to see her for a couple episodes, and it was way better done in the anime, and it was just like really impactful. So it's like, oh man, that's sad, and that's gonna affect these boys for the rest of their lives, sort of thing. But in this, it's just like snap, 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 quick, quick, quick. Let's get this stuff out. Along with the memories, along with like Alphonse thinking he's fake, that's just like snap, 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 quick, quick, quick. Let's get this out. Which is ridiculous. And Alphonse isn't in this enough for me personally. I think it's because his probably like the special effects that they made him with uh, cost too much money, which is kind of ridiculous that they made him with special effects anyways. They could have literally made a suit and put somebody in it, and then just like special affected his like neck out and stuff, and did stuff like that. But instead, they made him completely special effects, which is ridiculous. And I keep on seeing this girl. I did. This girl was not in the movie. Not in the movie at all. Maybe there's a second movie. If there is a second movie, I don't know if I'll watch it, but I might. Just to review it, just to see how bad it is. Because that girl is not in the movie at all. But she's in like a lot of these promotional arts. I don't really understand that. Like right here, like this never happened. This never happened. Where's she? What is this? Is this supposed to be in the movie? It wasn't in the movie I watched. But whatever, I guess. Um, so that's a bad thing. Like it just snap, 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 snap. Let's do all we can, and let's do it poorly. Because in the show it's like really impactful, but in the movie it's just like, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, sort of thing. So it's like, oh cool, blah 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 blah. Like who cares? We're not invested in these characters enough to care about this. um, but yeah, that's something that sucks. And the acting in this, I would say it's okay. It's not like It's like not subpar, except for maybe a couple scenes. There's a couple scenes where the main character, him, uh, he way over dramatizes it, and then Wendy, her character, there's a couple scenes where she just, I don't know, it's just she messes up. She doesn't act like Wendy, and she just messes it up. In my personal opinion, she just messes it up, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's just bad. Her acting's just bad half the time. I'm sorry. She's probably the worst actor in this, or actress. Uh, I, it's probably, I would say it's probably just the way that it was written. I'm hoping at least. I'm sure she's a fine actress. Uh, so it's probably just the way it was written, but the way she acted her lines didn't really like click or anything. It's just kind of like, ew, like, kind of bad. And the main actor, he over dramatized a lot of things, a few points, which was annoying. And plus, Alphonse was barely in there. Again, I'm pretty sure that's budgetary issues because he's basically all CGI, which is kind of ridiculous. As I already said, they should have just made sorry about that. As I said, they should have just made a full suit of armor and put somebody in there and did a little bit of CGI to help with it, you know. But they didn't. They made them like fully computer generated, which is stupid. Which leads me to the computer generation. Uh, the first half of the movie actually has pretty good special effects. And like pretty good action scenes and like pretty good, just good all around. But then at the second half, it starts declining. Probably at like the 40 minute mark, it starts declining. Like all these special effects and stuff start declining. Like the chimeras were pretty cool, but then the chimera of the girl and the dog looks kind of crappy, to be honest. And Alphonse was really cool in the first half, but in the second half he seems a little bit like just clingy and stuff. It's just kind of weird to describe how he seems, but he doesn't seem as good as he does in the first half. There's only one part in the last half that the special effects do seem kind of good, and that's when Colonel Mustang is fighting against Lust, and he's blowing her up like he did in the anime, like he's making her go on fire and stuff, like he did in the anime. Those special effects were pretty actually. Those were pretty good. Because he's just like boom, 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 and that fire is just boof, boof, boof. So yeah, those special effects were really cool. So it seems like they wasted their budget on on the first half and the last little bit on the special effects, and that's why they couldn't make it look as good like throughout pretty much the second half of the movie. So that's probably why it didn't look as good, and that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't have Alphonse in there as much. But there was some special effects, but we'll get into that when we get into the good stuff of the movie. So those are several bad things about this movie. The plot line was just horrible and sped up but long at the same time. As I said, they tried to shove in everything they could of the plot line and stuff like that. They tried to shove in everything. They're like, oh, shove this in, shove this in, shove this in. um, and it made it longer, but it wasn't any good. Um, and it showed something pretty interesting at first, where they were kids and they were bringing back their mother. Um, and instead of being like devoured, he was like devoured by a cloud instead, which is pretty interesting. But then we see a part where his arms getting devoured too, like his arms like going into things. That's when the special effects were pretty good still, but after that, the special effects started dropping off. To be honest, but yeah, like we see that when they're kids, except we don't see the whole thing. We get a dream sequence from Edward. Sorry, we get a dream sequence from Edward for some reason. That shows the backstory. Maybe they didn't. I think they probably just didn't think the kids could do it that well. The kid actors that they had them playing as at first. So maybe they didn't think that they could do it as well, and that the more adult actor could do it better, or something like that. I guess. But it's kind of weird to have a dream sequence when you had the kid actors actually playing the first part, but then you're like, they can't do it all. We need a dream sequence later on with the with like him fully grown and doing it all over. It was cool to see the dream sequence, but it was kind of just like, why didn't you do this at the beginning of the movie with the child actors? Don't know why. I'm assuming maybe the child actors just weren't that good, but I don't know. Um, and there wasn't enough blood, by the way, with his leg gone and stuff like that. There was like a little puddle, but with his leg gone, there was like a little puddle of blood, and it's just like, yep, that's his leg. It's gone. It's just like, shouldn't there be a giant puddle of blood? Shouldn't he still be bleeding? But no, there's a little puddle. So that's pretty funny. Sorry about that again. But that's pretty funny. Let's see. Anything else bad stuff? There is a lot of bad stuff, so it's hard for me to remember every little thing about the bad stuff and about the good stuff. Um, hmm. This is a fight scene, by the way, right here. Not a very good fight scene. I mean, Elfon was like willing to kill his brother, but straight up willing to smash that guy's skull and whatever. Um, so let's get back to the plot line, I guess, because I can't think of anything else to say about Pacific things. So let's get back to the plot line. So we meet the doctor that turns his daughter into a chimera, and then he comes back by the end because the chimera. I think they're called chimeras, right? The chimeras bring him back because he's creators of chimeras. No, wait, no, the homunculi use him for something that isn't exactly explained really good. I really didn't understand why he came back at the end, but it was for some reason, I guess. He came back, and then the homunculi is just like, you're not following our plan, so fuck you, pretty much, and they kill him again. And then they kill him, and it's just like, what? Like, why'd you bring him back in the first place? And then the Colonel comes, but it's not the Colonel that we know. It's not the guy with the eye patch and who's also a homunculi. It's a totally different guy trying to make an immortal army because he made a bunch of Philosopher Stones. And the immortal army is actually in Fullmetal Brotherhood, right? But this immortal army sucks because all you have to do is shoot them in the head like zombies. Even though they're not supposed to work like zombies, they're supposed to work like immortality. So if you shoot them in the head, their heads are supposed to grow back. But I guess they're just zombies. Who doesn't want a bunch of zombies that can be easily killed by shooting them in the head? There's your immortal army, I guess. But yeah, he creates this immortal army, and then they obviously eat him, which is stupid to be honest. Because there's a point where he realizes they're getting a little bit too close, and he's like afraid. And they're slow walking too. But instead of running away and running out the door that he came from, he just stands there and lets them eat them, like lets them eat him like a moron. He's just like, oh, he realized it, and he's just like, oh, it's so stupid. Um, just really stupid. But yeah, there's these things that just happen, and they're really stupid. Like really, really stupid. Like, why the hell do you need the guy that was making the chimeras? Why do you need him? For some reason, they used him for something, and then they killed him. And then the colonel, they used him for something, but then they're like, you're doing it wrong, so they tried to kill him, but they couldn't kill him because I guess he wasn't as easy to kill, but he eventually got killed by his own zombies. Uh, and then we get the ending where they fight against the homunculi, they kill Lust, and the other two get away, and we're left on a cliffhanger to watch the next movie, I guess. Um, Maybe the next movie is where that girl comes in. Is the next movie out? I'm so confused at this. Is this supposed to be in the original, like, in this movie? I did not see this in this movie. Is this supposed to be in this movie? But no, anyways, I guess there's gonna be a next movie. Probably. I don't know. But it was just horrible. Yeah, this, not in the movie. Again, not in the movie. I, is this supposed to be in the movie? Is that supposed to be Rose? I think that's probably supposed to be Rose, but Rose wasn't in this movie because they were actually at the priest's place fighting the priest, but Rose was never in the movie or anything, which is kind of weird. But whatever. But yeah, that girl's not in the movie. And also everybody calls Edward short, but not as much as they do in the anime. They call him short, but in this movie he's just like average height for a kid his age. So why would you call him short? It doesn't make any sense in the premise of this movie to call him short because he's just average height. They couldn't find a shorter actor. I don't know why, but they found this guy that was just average height and they're like, yeah, he's short. It's just like, no, for my age, I'm pretty average height. I'm just saying, pretty average height for his age, but everybody calls him short. Whatever, I guess. So that's just something that's looked over. They don't say it as much as they do in the anime, but they still do say it. So it's kind of annoying. Whatever. Um, but yeah, man, the ending's just stupid. Uh, the special effects are good at the beginning and at the end, but like in between, they're kind of garbage. Um, and this they shoved as much stuff they could. The plot line got really stupid, and they left on a cliffhanger, I guess. So we're gonna see another movie, I guess. Ooh. So let's go into the good stuff about this movie. The special effects. There was a really cool fighting scene at the beginning of this movie where Edward was fighting this thing, then Alphonse joins in, and Alphonse was just badass at that fighting scene. So that was really cool. Uh, the acting was okay. Again, there were some scenes that were pretty bad, but the acting was okay. Um, mm, I'm finding it hard to think of stuff that was good in this movie. Let me think. Let me think. Uh, I guess it semi followed the plot. Uh, Semi. That's about it, though. Yeah, that's about all I can think about. At the end, Elric almost used the Philosopher's Stone, but he ended up not using it, which is which is actually pretty cool because that's something that I always thought was stupid in the original anime and stuff like that. I always thought like, why wouldn't you use the Philosopher's Stone? Uh, I guess I guess the one made out of the refugees. I forgot what they're called, but the refugees that was created by them by the military. That one I'd feel a little bit bad using, but the other ones were made out of freaking criminals that were sentenced to death. Those people were bad, so why not use the stone that they were made out of to get your brother's body back and your limbs back? I'm just saying those people were horrible people, so screw them pretty much, I guess, you know? Just saying. If I ever had a Philosopher's Stone, the people are already dead, so why not use it? But I guess their moral code doesn't allow them to, which is kind of stupid. My moral code only goes so far. If I get a Philosopher's Stone, the people are already dead, so why not use it? I might feel bad if it was the refugees, but I'd be like, they're dead. I could use this for good, you know. But yeah, that's something that I found interesting until he's just like, no, don't use it. I'm not gonna use it. Um, so yeah, that's uh, pretty much all about the movie. I give it a 4. Wasn't that good. There was some pretty good scenes in it, but like wasn't that good. All this impactful stuff that was supposed to be really good wasn't. It was just like meh. It was like, why did you put that in there? Meh. Like it was just like not impactful at all. Kind of sucked. Yeah. And there's some characters missing. Uh, Scar's missing. The Scar, he never shows up. He should have. Maybe he'll show up in the second one, I guess. Um, Wendy's grandma's missing. Maybe she'll show up in the second one. But yeah, like it's just meh. It's a garbage movie to be honest. But anyways, that's my review. I hope you liked it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't go check out this movie unless you want to, I guess. But as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Hey guys, D-Man here. Just remind you to subscribe by clicking here. It works on mobile. Or click here to watch my last video. It also works on mobile. Just remember, subscribe and stuff. Alright, bye bye.